Ho ho ho! Ho ho ho! Ho ho ho!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Fallout Shelter Survival. How y'all doing? We're still rolling through the holidays here on Christmas. A few days after Christmas. Hope you had a good holiday. Hope everything's going well for you. Hope you got all you wanted. Not that lump of coal, unless that's what you asked for, because, you know, a lot of people did ask for coal this year. You never know. Anyways, we got some people outside the door. Actually, just one, and that's Star Paladin Cross, because she is now our level 50. Uh-oh, hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought for 1 minute. Can I find him quickly? Can I find him? Doubtful. Will not find him. Nope, will not find him. Anyways, Star Paladin Cross, come back in. Come on in. Collect all your stuff. We found a greaser outfit. We don't really care about that. Can't build any of that stuff just yet. We're going to put you back in your home for a second. Unfortunately, you are going to be involved in some things. Let's heal you up. There you go. What's going on out there, everybody? We got, as I said, Star Paladin Cross. She is now our first of many level 50 dweller with all of her stats at 10 plus whatever she gets from wearing an outfit. And she's been such a great girl, great woman, great soldier, everything. Oh, we got a raider attack. We got to take care of that. So we will soon get many more. I'll make sure that they got the right guns. Okay. We will soon get many more. We can start to see already. We're starting to cycle people through. Look at all this. They're getting there, getting there. They're getting there. They're all getting there. Slowly but surely they will get there. And once these people reach everything on their stats as being 10, I will then funnel them into these two power rooms where they will then take the place of everybody who's in there, and everybody who's in there will then go through and cycle out. And then I will just start to fulfill all of the rooms with people who are at 10 on all of their stats. Collect that because we're gonna scrap it. Alrighty, good job, everybody. Great job, awesome job. That's right. Alrighty, so what do we got going on? First of all, we got survive 20 mole rat attacks with no casualties for a lunchbox, which I think we're gonna do today and have a little bit of a chat. And then we also have scrap 18 weapons or outfits. I've done 9 of those. That's why I sent Star the Paladin Cross out to go get more that I could scrap. And then this one here, complete 11 quests discovered in the Wasteland. We're not going to do that right now because we can't stop 6 mole rat infestations before they spread. So that, I'm glad I got rid of that one because this I can do, again, we can do in tandem with the 20 mole rat attacks before they spread. So that will be, the only problem with that is, yeah, that's not going to work. Because those 20 mole rat attacks will take place in a room that will not spread. Because I don't... Well, no. It can spread. I can still I can have dirt touching the side on this room and not have it be isolated to the point where it can't spread. So it can go up to the lab. Let's put it right here. And unfortunately, Star Paladin Cross... I know you just got back from being out in the wasteland and fighting, but you are the best for this operation. You have the most, pedigree in order to do it. So we will make sure you guys have the best outfits and the best weapons. So let's see here. Get you with that, and we'll get you with that, and then we will just go to it. And do it like we did. Well, there's no damn raider attack. Were you kidding me? I just got rid of that, and I have to give all these damn weapons back again. My goodness. You get up there. Yeah, you get up there. I think, somebody else's. Oh, the lead belcher didn't really matter. Anyways, so, yeah. So how was your Christmas? Mine, Christmas to an adult is a little bit different than a Christmas to a kid these days. We are stressed out, getting things done, taking care of, the house, making sure it's ready for people to come to the house and stuff like that. You got to make sure that you stay safe out there, driving around in the great outdoors and all that. It's not that spectacular of a holiday for adults. But, you know, having kids like I do, you tend to make the most of it. Now, of course, unfortunately, though, for Christmas, Bailey was not feeling that great. She had a bit of a cold, and she got missed out on a lot of the Christmas stuff. So let's go scrap these weapons while we're waiting. So it wasn't that great. I mean, for her, she was sort of under the weather, and she still kind of is under the weather. So she really didn't get to do a lot of stuff. But I think later today, if she's feeling better, we are going to go see Star Wars. You know, I had to take her out for something anyway, so we might as well do that as well. Let's see, we got 16, 18 there. Alrighty. More outfits to scrap. We're going to scrap the mare outfit because we can't use it. We might actually get some good stuff out of it. There we go. And anything else we don't really care about. Let's see what the kind of junk do we have. We can get rid of some of this junk that we don't really care about at the moment. 16. Oh my goodness. I don't want to get rid of the... Well, we'll get rid of a couple of them. All right, let's just scrap the nightwear for... No, you know what? Let's scrap one of these, this one here, because we don't really care about that one. We have plenty of other stuff. All right, that should get us... Oh, and there's a Mulred attack. How about that? How about that? How about that? 2 Mulred attacks with no casualties, and we should have gotten one for keeping it before it spreads. Did that work? No. You know what, though? I think that's crap. I think that's utterly crap. That should not be like that. So we're going to still just rush it to get the... Oh, shit, I forgot about this. I should have did this before. Oh, look, that's well out because Lucy's in the window. All right, I'm watching my cats. There's another reason we were going to have a little discussion. So, yeah, I mean, it's not that great for an adult. I mean, you know, it is. It is because you have kids. It is because you get to enjoy seeing them you know, light up when they open up the presents from Santa and everything else. And, you know, I have a nephew who's like 6 years old, and he got just all kinds of cool stuff. Ghostbuster. He's into Ghostbusters right now. The original. The original. He saw... I don't think he hasn't seen the new one yet. I think the new one is a little bit more scary for little kids than the first one was. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't enjoy the movie. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but you know, well, I'm getting into a discussion about that. But I thought that was kind of a bad idea. Not because I think that you know, they shouldn't have done a female version of Ghostbusters. That didn't bother me. That was not my problem. My problem is that you have some pretty talented people out there, really, really talented people out there, and I understand these are comedians. I mean, you know, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson wasn't a comedian, but we're talking about comedians in general making the movie. So, you know, having comedians, the female version, make a Ghostbusters reboot seems like a logical way to do it, but it's just that, and I could be misguided on this because you had 3 people who were associated with each other back then. Harold Ramis and Bill Murray had done Stripes together. There was, you know, Second City and Saturday Night Live. There's alum there, you know. So there's definitely some people who were associated by you know, different projects back then. But doing the movie, the same people, like I guess not Judd Apatow. Who was it? What's his name? Paul Feig, I think his name is. You have Melissa McCarthy, you have Kate McKinnon, you have Kristen Wiig. It just seems like these are the people that we're used to seeing in other movies. We've seen them do this stuff before. It's like Bridesmaids with proton packs. It just seemed like it was... You just made a sequel to Bridesmaids, but you made them Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like an original thought of an idea. And it wasn't like a reboot, but it was a reboot. they were acknowledging certain things, but they weren't acknowledging certain things. I felt that it was misguided attempt. It was an homage, as Bailey called it. And Bailey is very progressive about things. I consider her to be a feminist in her early age, but she said this was kind of like watching Ghostbusters, the original, and she saw it when she was 2. This is like watching a remastered version of Ghostbusters. I'm like, yeah, you're about right. That's about it. It basically was the same plot, right down to everything, even the beginning. So to that end, I was sort of like, eh. But anyways, that's beside the point. I mean, my nephew is in love with the Ghostbusters. He got the Playmobil, the Ecto one. He got the everything. So it was awesome. No, see, that's working now. 2 of them. I don't know why it's not working any other time. That's kind of crazy. So, but to this point, he got a lot of presents about that. He got the firehouse and all that. And it was great to see him just to totally, destroy my brother's house, but with like toys everywhere. I mean, my goodness. That's like, yeah, you have, Christmas was on a Monday, and then the rest of the week is just like, let the kid just burn himself out, and then we'll clean everything up for New Year's, and then he'll be back to, back in school after that. So it's just like, people who go back and shop on the day after Christmas, my goodness, that's just, why would you? Just stay home. Let your kid decompress. They've just been through the ringer the day before. You've been through the ringer the day before. How about just decompress and enjoy some time with your family instead of having to get back out on that, in the stores. I understand it's the single biggest day of returns ever, but you know what? Everybody now, stores now, we don't have the limited availability of return times that we did when I was a kid. You had to return stuff really quickly back when I was a kid, or you couldn't. Now people take returns without receipts, for goodness sake. So it's not like it's that big of a deal to return something a week or 2 after Christmas to a store that you didn't buy it from without even a receipt. So now the other thing but me, I didn't get to exactly relax the day after Christmas. It just seems like every holiday is a pending disaster for me and my family. We have, I'm always waiting for a shoe to drop anymore. I haven't been working since the end of August. I'm slowly dwindling my reserves of what I can, survive on until I get a job. I'm still looking, I'm still applying, and I'm still getting rejected everywhere. But other things have happened, that are slightly more concerning, and it's hard for me, and things I can't control and things I can't fix. My father, his health is not that great. We've talked about this a little bit before. I haven't really given you a lot of information on it. Back in August of last year, we went to Topsail Island for a vacation, and he was complaining of a sore throat, mouth hurt, tongue hurt, that kind of thing, and they found that he had squamous, which is a form of skin cancer on his tongue, and they had to do surgery where he lost 50, like they said they're going to remove 50% of his tongue and have to do a graft from his leg to cut. Now, luckily, everything they did was surface. He didn't have to have any, muscle or vascular reconstruction, but it did take its toll on him. He has not really eaten a meal orally for a year now. He's been using a feeding tube, and that in and of itself has its own problems. And he also, they found that he had lymph nodes cancerous, and he had some that spread into his chest area. So he's existing at this point right now. He's not doing great. He hasn't really spoken a lot since last year. The man has lost probably close to 100 pounds in a year. Just the pictures of him between August at the beach last year to 4th of July this year are just insane, and it's gotten worse. And the one thing the guy had going for him was a beautiful head of hair. He first got cancer in 2004, renal cell cancer, in 2003 actually, and he had surgery and had to remove a kidney, and they had a separate surgery for after because they didn't get it all. And through that time, he was in his 60s. He's 70. He'll be 76 on Friday, 2 days from now. Well, 2 days from when this video airs. 76 years old. He was still working up until the beginning of this year. he pretty much has turned it over to my daughter, or to my sister. Sorry, my sister. Um, and she's kind of like running the business right now, but it's still in his name. And there we go. We got that. What else we got going on? Collect 16 weapons. Yeah, I don't really care about that one. Sell. I can sell, so we can send, after we're done with this, we're going to send Star Paladin Cross back out to collect stuff and bring her back in. Now, I will say one thing, and I'm taking a pause from that story to give myself a chance to be composed, but also to, tell you that I think that I could send a 50 level, or a level 50 dweller with all stats at 10 plus whatever they're wearing out to the wasteland, and they could go out and come back without me doing anything. I sent them out with 25 stim packs and 15 rataways, and they would come back with most of that stuff and just a full belly of stuff. I don't see that happening. In fact, I did a test. To see I don't know what the exact distance is, but they will not survive. I do not suggest, if you have played Fallout Shelter regular mode where you send your dwellers out and they can go out for 3 days, fill up, and then come back, don't try it in survival mode. I think it's a lot harsher out there, and they will, after 18 hours, they will die. Even at level 50 with 10 on all of their stats, they will die. I can tell you that from a fact. I have a separate little environment that I'm testing things in, and that's where it happened. So I didn't want to do it live in here because I didn't want that, I don't want to lose anybody, especially a legendary dweller like that. And I would also not send a legendary dweller out to the wasteland in that case. I would keep an eye on them. I tend to not watch things except for once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week maybe before I record. And yeah, that didn't go well. So, and all I did there was I made a copy of the vault into another slot. You can go into your documents file. If you're playing on the PC, if you can go into your documents, just not your or my, just documents folder on your main drive, and find my games, my games, that folder. You can see a lot of your local data gets stored in there for games, and Fallout Shelter is one of them for the PC. If you go in there and it has Vault 1 regular, Vault 1 backup, Vault 2 regular, Vault 2 backup, that kind of thing. Copy the vault that you're using and change, and if you paste it, change the number on it to an open slot, 1, 2, or 3. You can then use that other vault to test things out, and that's what I had done. So I had a test. I made a copy of this vault and used it as a test to see things. I always record in this one, my main vault, Vault 2, or Vault 0, I call it, but the Vault 2 save. But this particular time, we did not do so well. So that's my thing. All right, now back to what I was saying. So yeah, Christmas was rough because the man had a beautiful head of hair, and until he got cancer when he was in his 60s, 67, 63 actually, he still had he hardly had any gray hair. The man had a beautiful head of black hair. And I was jealous of him because by the time I reached 30, I started to get gray in my right in the tips around my cowlick. And he still had more black hair than I did at that point. And unfortunately, they had to switch up some of his chemo, and he now has lost all of his hair, which it was still black. It still had some black in it at Thanksgiving. And now not only is it no longer black, it's no longer there. Sorry to bring the mood down at Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. But, this is my life right now. I don't have a job. My father's battling cancer, stage 3 squamous, that's spread everywhere. And, that's the holidays for me, usually. Things don't really go well at the holidays. On top of all that, yesterday, the day after Christmas, I had a bit of a scare with another cat. Now, we've talked about Emmy. You remember Emmy. If you've ever watched any of the early Grand Theft Auto videos between me and Bailey where we were just racing and talking, I talked a lot about Emmy, and she happened to die right when we started doing all that. And I probably had 3 or 4 episodes filmed before that weekend that I had to take Emmy into the hospital, and we had to put her down. And it was not the cancer that got her. She had a tumor that burst. Like her skin, it split over her skin. It was outside, on her hip area, and she had an open wound that I had to pack every day and give her antibiotic treatments every other, so many times. We did cycles of them. And she lived for almost a year, and then her kidneys started to fail her and everything else. So it wasn't the cancer that got her, but all the other, her age and everything else on top of it, caused her to, go down that path that I couldn't fix her, from. And I lost Oscar 3 years before that to cancer, much more severe conditions. He died, basically within 2 feet of me in the middle of the night, and it was rough. It's still rough. I miss my kitties, Big old burly 42-year-old, 280-pound guy, and here I am almost, sad about cats, but there's nothing wrong with that. But Willow, who is the only cat in this world that I probably would not trust to save me if I ever needed it to. She's a little spitfire. My Willow Mina Moo. She's looking at me right now. She, in July, she had, I just took her in for routine checkup to have her teeth checked because I was worried. One, about, sometimes her tail was twitching like crazy. And usually that tells me that her back end is bothering her. Something might be impacted and might need to be expressed, as they say. And I took her in to have that checked out and check out her teeth and make sure everything was okay, and that wasn't the case. They said, well, we got some problems here. They took an x-ray, and they found that she had a mass, looked like a mass around her. She had a collapsed lung, looked like, or a mass around her lung. And they put her on, I call it Thermopylae, I don't know, theophylline, whatever it's called. It's basically a bronchodilator. Put her on that once every other day. She doesn't like me doing it, but it was supposed to make things better. And it cleared up a lot of the infection if she had one. Her lungs looked a lot clearer from then to now. The unfortunate part was 2 days, Christmas Eve, Bailey was looking at her. She's like, she's breathing really heavy. And she's breathing really heavy from the back of her, like, around her hips, which, not good. And I'm like, look, I can't tell anything about it right now. I can't take her to the vet right now. It's Christmas Eve. I can't, it's Sunday. Tomorrow's Christmas. I can't take her to the vet everything else is going on. I cannot afford to take her to a emergency vet and pay that much money right now. And it's sad to say that. My cats mean the world to me, but I have to be, I have to be able to provide for them as well as everybody else at the same time. So you have to make these adult decisions, at Christmas time. And I waited till yesterday, which was the day after Christmas. And Megan came over and we took her to the vet, and they kind of gave me some bad news. They said the doctor said he was pretty sure that she did have cancer and it had spread. It was a big, huge mass around her lung. And I shut down a little bit in the doctor's office. And they said, well, what we can do is we can try to remove a lot of the fluid and see what that tells us and see if there's anything better to see. But, chances are we're not looking at anything good. So we sat in the waiting room, and an hour and a half later, doctor came out and said we needed to come back and take a look. I'm like, oh, God, what's happening? It's the day after Christmas. I'm thinking about all the things in the world, seeing my dad with no hair and all the other things, all those other anxieties, and I'm just shutting down, and I don't want to be there. And it's like, you can only look at your phone for so much time before you've seen the same things 15 times, and you cannot escape those thoughts in your head. And so we went back, and they said, here's the picture of July. I'm like, yeah, I remember that, and, it wasn't that big, and it was, collapsed lung, whatever. And then here's pictures of today, and it was, huge, and everything was, screaming, my gosh, what's going on here? And he said, here's the picture right now if we took all that fluid out. He's like, we got a lot of fluid out. And her lungs looked like they did in July. So they were able to take her back to what she looked like in July, which to me is great because that's just resetting the clock somewhat. Now, we don't know what's causing all this issue. We don't know what's happening. They said there's some phagocytes that are, the mitosis is crazy. There's inflammation. There's other things going on. He cannot pinpoint cancer at this point. Cannot pinpoint it. He's 90% sure that it's what it is. But they took blood and they took fluid and they're sending it out to the lab, and I should know in a few days. And I'm not hopeful that it's not going to be, because I don't have that kind of luck. My cats in my family, and everybody has been affected by cancer, and I just don't have that kind of luck to have it not be anything dire. She's 13, almost 14 years old, so I mean, she's had a great life, but still, she's, they're my world. They're my, I have a daughter, but they are my children as just as well. And to see her have to suffer, and I can't go through that right now. It hasn't even been a year since we lost Emmy, and I'm not prepared to give up that fight. And I'm not exactly in the best position financially to make that fight, but I will do what I can and do what's best. And I won't, do it for me. I'll do it for her. So, but for now, she's not happy with me. she's finally laying down a little bit. They had to shave underneath her armpits area, her front paws, front legs, and they took some blood from her jugular, so she's a little bit sore. They put her on a sedative to sort of help her, and her breathing is still a little bit elevated than what it was in July, but it's not as bad as it was before we took her to the doctors. So she's doing fine. She's resting, and they put her on Zenequin, which is an antibiotic. They want to try to clear up any inflammation and see how things go from there. I have to give her one of those tablets a day. So she was pissed at me for having to give her one of those Thermopolis or whatever they're called, Theraphyllane or whatever, once every other day. She hated that, and then now I have to give her this antibiotic pill every day for 14 days. So I'm not, I will do it. I hate having to put that kind of stress on a cat, but I will do it because it will help her. And, she hasn't really eaten yet. She's still just kind of laying there, but she is a little bit more attentive than she was yesterday. She comes out and her tail is twitching a little bit. She likes to twitch her tail at you, and she likes to be pet and all that stuff. And she has done that. So I'm a little bit hopeful that she's feeling a little bit better than she was yesterday. So that's, that's where we're at with that. And, $500 later, I've blown through anything I got for Christmas from anybody. But, it didn't faze me. I just did it because that's, this is what you do as a parent, as an adult. You make these tough decisions when you really shouldn't. When you're a kid and you get toys, it's great. When you're a young adult or an adult and you get money for Christmas, it's great. And most of the times when you're an adult, you often see it go the other way. So the fact that I can zero out the effects here isn't too bad. So, that's not too worried at the moment right now. Hi, how you doing? She's resting comfortably at this moment, and we will continue to keep an eye on her and hope that she gets better. Or not any worse. Yeah. So, that being said, we got, my goodness, I got 3 more to do. And we're really not spectacularly rolling through this. It's taking a lot harder longer than I thought. I did see, we did this last time, the last episode. I had 20 of these to get for a Mr. Handy, and we also got another Mr. Handy based on something else. And I talked about, I did a really bad rendition of what, the It's a Wonderful Life, summary of It's a Wonderful Life, and that I was doing it and all that other stuff. And I know that I was all over the damn place, and I was just basically talking until I could finish those 2 objectives. And I think that itself was indicative of why I got the response that I did. I actually got early on even, not that many views. And, usually I get, I can usually count on a certain number of views for each one of these videos. And that one was nearly a third of what it usually is, and a thumbs down to boot. So, not that I care. I mean, if I get a thumbs down, it doesn't affect me in one way or the other. I mean, it makes me feel like I need to do something to make it better, but I can't please everybody, and I do this for me as much as anybody else. But I'm still holding steady at needing 13 subscribers to get 500 in 5 days. Not going to happen. I've resigned myself to the idea that I'm not going to get 500 subscribers by the end of 2017. That's just the way it is. Even though I've offered to give somebody a shirt, which I know that doesn't seem like much, but as you can tell, I don't really have much to give. The fact that I can give you a shirt something to wear, to clothe you. Dobby's got a sock. Master's giving Dobby clothes. Dobby's free. I can free you from you little house elf. I can free you if you become the 500 subscriber. I will give you a shirt. It's a good shirt. I think the design's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a freaking Rembrandt. I mean, my goodness. I can make money off selling shirts, but I can't say they're all that great. But anyways, so yeah, that's where we're kind of at. Of course, in the Patreon, I started the Patreon how many months ago, and nothing going on there. Nothing happened there. I got something. What the hell that was? I got an extra thumbs up and for no reason. Mr. Vault Boy there giving me this thumbs down, and how much time? Oh, we will not be able to tell until another minute. Well, we got 2 more to get. So yeah, starting next year, and this is the last episode of 2017. How about that? This is the last episode of 2017. We are coming into the station on this year that has been pretty shitty all the way around for everybody involved. And I don't mean just, because of the most obvious of reasons for most people in this world. But losing my job, losing insurance, having shoulder surgery, having my father go with what he's going through, Bailey having to go what she's going through, and they have a debate at school. She's 10 years old, and at 10 years old, kids have that debate around Christmas time, and she's like, everybody's divided in half of the mindset, the political mindset of a 10-year-old in this world is, half the kids in class think that he's existed. The other half doesn't think he exists. And she's like, me, I don't really care. Santa can skip my house this year. I'm more worried about being nuked by North Korea. That's where we're at, folks. So 2017 has not been a great year for Bailey as well. She's worried about, this world. She's a very sympathetic and very empathetic person. She cares about other people, and she's worried that, things are going to happen, and she hates to see it. So the year hasn't been all that great for her either. Or the year hasn't been all that great for her. Here we go, finally. Oh my goodness, there we are. Yay. Now, we got another lunchbox, which we will not open because we have, yeah. So there you go. I'm going to do the rest of that stuff offline. You're going to go back to here. You're going to go back to here. And we're going to get out of here real soon. And call it a day, call it a year. Try to get 2017 out of the damn world because, my goodness, I am ready for 2017 to be done. I don't know about you all. It's been a hell of a year. Yeah, so, still don't have a job. I get insurance day one. I have to pay for insurance on day one of the year, and it's being rough. And here I am playing video games like I'm a stupid idiot, but I do it for fun. I do it for you. And it's a business as well, so I'm keeping up with businesses. I'm working, I guess you would say. Not towards any great end because I don't make any money off of this stuff, especially with the apocalypse the way it happens. I will release this video today. It will probably get hit with a mandatory, you cannot monetize for, all of 2 days, and then it'll be fine. But by then, all the views I would have gotten off this video will then have been passed, and then I will have not made anything off this video. And that is why I push people towards Patreon, because I can do a little bit more targeted stuff for you. And if you are a subscriber, a one-time subscriber, as there is a link in the description on how to do so, you can get a shout-out. I can name a dweller after you, get a shirt, mug, stickers, all kinds of stuff. But, like I said, I'm not asking you to do it. Woohoo! Look at that. Railway rifle. We could make that. But, I want people to do what they want to do. I'm not gonna withhold content from you in order to get you to be subscribers. Just saying we could maybe do other things if I had that. So that's all I go. That's all we got. All right, folks, I want to thank you all for joining me on this adventure again. Happy New Year to y'all. We'll see you next year. Quite literally. And hopefully keep going from there. And let me know what you think in the comment section. Like and subscribe to the video. I may make it. It might be a Christmas miracle. 500 subscribers by the end of the year, although I doubt it. Have a good evening. Good night.
Ho, ho, ho!